Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to my new video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Iran, whether there's a war coming any day now. I'll discuss that. I'm also going to be talking about Starmer's trip to China, and you can see by the papers they're already going a little bit crazy. And I'm going to talk about China, whether it's ready to approve Nvidia's H2000 chips, and what does it all mean. So let's talk about that. And without further ado, before I start the show, guys, don't forget to like and share and try and watch the video to the end. It really helps the algorithm. Okay, let's get on with the show. Let's start with Iran. So the US aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln, I believe, has just landed near Iranian waters. They're just off the coast of Oman at the moment and they're just lingering around. So what does it mean? Does this mean that there could be an attack on Iran any day now? The Israeli papers are saying it. The Arabian papers are saying there's going to be an attack. But I don't think there's going to be an attack by Trump, guys. I just don't see it. Because, first of all, he's not ready to have a war, a full war with Iran. And neither is Israel. Because they know Iranian capabilities. They know Iranians have had lots of help from China and Russia with regards to missile technology, anti-aircraft technology, and you can see they also have all the latest gadgets and tech. They managed to shut down Starlink, which no country has done so far, apart from Russia, I believe, but that's in the battlefield. But no country has actually shut down Starlink during a color revolution. This is the first time they've done that, and it's completely shocked the Western establishment. So here's a number of reasons why I don't think Trump is ready to go to war with Iran. First of all, he doesn't have the budget, and you can see they're already, I think, well over trillions in debt, guys, and this debt is just ballooning, and the economy is not doing very well. He really doesn't have enough cards to fight Iran. He really doesn't have trillions and trillions of dollars to suddenly go to war with Iran. I don't think Trump wants it. The only people that want this war is the Israelis, and I think they are pushing him to start a war with Iran. They're the only people that are pushing this war. And the Israelis are pretty confident that Trump will start this war with Iran, but I don't see it. Secondly, the American people do not want this. American people, they remember Afghanistan, they remember Iraq, all those lies and all those lives lost because of lies of weapons of mass destruction, and also trillions and trillions were lost in that war as well. So I don't think the Americans want this war, especially with most Americans living paycheck to paycheck. Their lives are getting worse and worse by the day. Inflation's going up. So they do not want their tax dollars to go into another war, especially with Iran. You know, the Iranian war is not going to be cheap for America, guys. It's going to cost them a lot of lives. It's going to cost them a lot of money. And Iran is not Iraq. When they went into war with Iraq, Iraq was under heavy sanctions. They had literally no weapons left because the weapons inspectors had gone into Iraq for 10 years, dismantled all the missile technology and everything else. And Iran was, I mean, Iraq at the time was a wreck. You know, it really had no means to defend itself. It was an easy target for the Americans, and that's why they went in. Iran is not going to be an easy target. You know, the window of opportunity of going to war with Iran is gone. You know, if they wanted to go to war with Iran, they should have done it in the 70s, 80s, or the 90s. But instead, you know, they funded this proxy war for Saddam to fight Iran. And Saddam lost that war, obviously. And Iran was very weakened after that war. They could have gone in after that, but they didn't. So their window of opportunity is gone. Iran is much stronger now than it ever was. Same China, you know, they've been talking about war with China for ages. You see every single paper, Western journalist, Western pundit was eager to go to war with China. But now they don't even mention it. They don't even say anything. They wanted to go to war with North Korea. As soon as North Korea had nuclear weapons, they don't even mention it, they don't even talk about it. So what they respond to is strength, guys. If you're a country and you can defend yourself, you are strong militarily, you can defend your borders, you can cancel any color revolutions that come. They've tried everything. They have tried everything to take down Iran for years, and it has not worked. So Trump's plan, why is this aircraft carrier next to Iran? Well, if you look at what Trump did to Venezuela, this is exactly the same thing. They had an aircraft carrier next to Venezuela, and they were parked there for months, and they were shooting down, boats, fishermen boats, and things like that. So they were there for months, and when they were there, they were working with the CIA, and they were working with obviously the Venezuelans, and they were bribing key people close to Maduro for trying to find out where his location is, and they kidnapped him. Well, I think they're planning on something similar with Iran. I think they're either planning to kill the Grand Ayatollah Khamenei. I think they're either trying to kidnap him or they're going to try and kill him. One of the two. And I think this is why they're parked next to Iran. I don't think they're going to go into a full-blown war, but I think they're going to try and take out the leadership. However, this plan's going to fail completely. It's going to fail because Iran is not Venezuela. First of all, Grand Ayatollah Khamenei has been, they have been after him for over 50 years. They have been trying to assassinate him, trying to find where he is for over 50 years. Mossad has tried, American intelligence, CIA has tried, and it's all failed. The reason it's failed because if you look at Tehran on the map, Tehran is right, in the northern parts of Iran. It's surrounded by mountains and things like that. So it's been impossible for anyone, any American, to go all that way from the aircraft carrier, fly all the way, and and take out, Khamenei anyway. It's going to be absolutely impossible. They managed to do that in Venezuela because Venezuela is not Iran, guys. They really have not much weapons in Venezuela, and basically all their anti-aircraft guns were shut down either by the US or by hackers, or they were basically they bribed the military in Venezuela to shut them down. So that enabled um, the American soldiers to go in with helicopters because helicopters are the easiest things to shoot down if you have anti-aircraft guns. So they managed to go in with helicopters and take out Maduro. This is not going to happen in Iran. There is no way they are able to shut down um, the anti-aircraft missiles and guns in Iran. In fact, it's completely impossible to shut them down in Iran. And they have tried for years, but now they have gone stronger. They have anti-aircraft guns, missiles, technology from China as well as Russia. They use the Chinese Baidu satellite system. Also use the Russian satellite system as well, and they've completely got rid of GPS. And GPS is something that the United States used to control countries. So if you're a country and your missile systems uses GPS for its targeting and things like that, the Americans can easily shut down the GPS over your country, and you will not be able to use those missiles for targeting or any other purposes. They can easily shut it down. So having GPS is very dangerous for a country. You need to have your own sovereignty, your own satellites, your own navigation system. And Iran has that, but also is using Chinese and also the Russian as well. So it's going to be almost impossible for the Americans to go in to Iran and take out Khamenei, whether to kill him or kidnap him. It's going to be impossible. So I think Trump is just going to be loitering around Iran, and he's going to probably push the CIA for more protests. He's going to push for more, some of those Kurds to go into Iran to cause trouble, and also some of those Syrian ISS members, those Jelani mob, they could go into one of Iran to cause more trouble as well. They'll probably be doing lots of these covert tactics, to be honest. I don't think they will go to full war. I think Israel could attack because I think Israel might be frustrated with Trump. I think if Trump doesn't attack uh, Iran, Israel could get very frustrated because all of their papers, they're pretty convinced that Trump will attack Iran. I don't think he will. I think Israel could attack Iran themselves, and I think could bring in Trump alongside. And it might not be a full war. I think it might be a short bombings here and there. However, this aircraft carrier, I think Iran can take it out, guys, with a hypersonic missile or two. One or two hypersonic missile hits to that aircraft carrier, and Iran can easily take it out. And I think Iran can. I'm not sure if they will, but I think if Trump attacks and Israel attacks and it's a full-on war, then I think Iran will have no choice but to attack it. And if that aircraft carrier sunk, then I think America will probably go into a full war with Iran. I think this is when you will see Trump going into Congress asking for Congress to vote to go to war with Iran, and I think a lot of Americans will vote to go into war with Iran because shooting down an aircraft carrier, losing all that money and lives, I think it's going to really rattle the Americans, and I think that will push them to go to a full war. And I think all bets are off the table when that happens, and I think things can escalate. I think Russia will help Iran, China will help Iran, and if things get escalate, I think nuclear might be used. I'm sorry to say, but I think Iran must have a nuclear if they want to. If they want to, have a war with America, with Israel, they must have a nuke to defend themselves because I think either the Israelis or the Americans will use it against Iran. Only if Iran shoots down American aircraft carrier. So things are very, very messy at the moment, and I think Trump is playing with fire. Things can escalate very fast. Um, so I don't know, guys. I mean, you just have to look at the markets. The markets are very rattled at the moment. Gold is going up sky high. Silver is going sky high. So people know there's something coming. I really hope it doesn't lead to that, but I think Iran needs to prepare for all eventualities, and I think Iran needs to get that bomb as soon as possible if they want to defend themselves properly. And this is the only way it will stop these nukes being dropped on them. Because if they have it, Americans and the Israelis will think twice. They will probably fight conventionally, but they won't escalate to nuclear because they know Iran has nuclear as well. So that's the only way, guys. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to go to the next topic. So Starmer is due to go to China in the next couple of days. And already I can see lots of British headlines saying Starmer needs to talk about human rights, blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on, guys. If you're a world leader, right? If you're a world leader and you want to make a relationship with China, you want to kind of, work with China, you want Chinese investment, and you want to build a partnership. Are you going to go to China and start talking about human rights? I mean, what do you think that's going to happen when that happens, right? I mean, it's just China's just going to get you out the door. They're going to be like, all right, thanks, but no thanks. Here's the door. Get out. We don't want to hear it because the Western human rights. They've got nothing to stand on, guys. Nothing. I mean, the British have completely supported Israel on its genocide. Completely. Done nothing whatsoever. And they want to talk about human rights to China. I mean, this is beyond a joke, guys. In fact, the British actually helped Israel commit a genocide as well. It was British planes giving Israel's intelligence. They were flying every single day. They were giving them weapons, selling them weapons. British actually helped commit a mass genocide in front of the whole world, in front of everyone, in front of social media, live streamed it. And then now they want to go to China and talk about human rights. I really hope the Chinese laugh at Keir Starmer's face when he says that. When he talks about human rights, I really hope they laugh at his face. And I really hope the Chinese talk to Britain about its human rights. About its human rights, not only in Gaza, but other parts of the world, and also against its own citizens. Its own citizens are being arrested for social media posts. Isn't that a breach of human rights? It's crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. So let's talk about the next topic. It looks like Nvidia is about to. Well, you can see Nvidia. The leader of Nvidia has been in China for the last few days, and there's a lot of clips of him grocery shopping in China, in Shanghai. And I think he's been doing some behind the scenes negotiations to try and get Nvidia to be sold in Chinese tech companies. And it looks like China may approve the Nvidia sales. However, this, even though they may approve, I think this is just going to be kind of, I don't think they're going to approve a wider sale of H20 all across China. I think these are going to be approved for companies who maybe AI companies or something that they need, the latest Nvidia chips and stuff like that. But I don't think China will approve it for companies that are very important to Chinese security and especially um, government companies, companies that you know basically that have security issues. I don't think Chinese will approve H20 to be sold there. And and I think time is on China's side. Even if they approve or they don't approve, the Chinese AI industry and the Chinese chip industry is growing at a really breakneck speed, guys. Within a year or within like 2 years, they're going to have chips faster than Nvidia. Nvidia will be playing catch up, with China. And even if they sell a few chips here and there to a few companies, it's fine. Give it a year, give it 2 years, and these chips are going to be replaced by Chinese chips. I really hope that Chinese companies also don't buy Nvidia chips because every day you don't know what Trump is going to do one day to the next. One day, things might be fine. Next day, he might wake up and say, "All right, we don't want to sell these chips to China anymore." Blah blah blah. Or these. I'm going to place all these sanctions on China. They're not allowed to buy this. Not going to allowed to buy that. And China needs to be able to protect itself from that. And I think that's what China is doing. They've learned their lessons from the first time. The first time when Huawei got hit by sanctions and got kicked out of the United States and the rest of the world, Huawei was really hurting because every single tech company, including Nvidia, by the way, they banned sales to Huawei. And Huawei had to basically survive, build everything themselves. They had to build their own Harmony system. They had to build their own chips. Everything you see, Huawei had to build itself to survive, and they have done that. Any other company would have died by now. If this was a company in Japan, and which they have destroyed, by the way, the Americans have destroyed couple of companies in Japan. If this was a company in Europe, for example, it would have been destroyed within weeks. Guys, within weeks, it would have been destroyed. But Huawei is different. Huawei, you know, people are the shareholders in Huawei, so it's in everyone's interest that works in Huawei to be able to survive and to build something that they can work with and to be independent. And I think the Huawei workers have been working extremely hard the last few years for Huawei to be in the position they are in today. As you can see from every single day, I see all these new breakthroughs coming out from China. I'm going to talk about this Manhattan project in a bit, but you can see some breakthroughs coming up saying the Chinese AI chips run 12 times faster, one 200 of the energy that's used in digital rivals. So these Chinese new AI chips coming out, they're much, not only are they faster, but they take less energy, as you can see. And and China's also unveiling flexible fiber chips, alternative to silicon chips as well. So every single day you see all these new, breakthroughs coming out from China. It's not going to take long before all of these companies in it, like Nvidia, are going to be playing catch up to China, and it's going to be companies like TSMC are going to be falling behind Chinese chip companies. So let's talk about this Manhattan project that they are talking about. If you guys don't know what the Manhattan Project is, it's when the Americans got a group of scientists together and basically they got their atom bomb working. I don't know if you guys seen the film Oppenheimer. So basically, that was it. That was the Manhattan Project. They got these scientists from all over the world, basically, to build them their atom bomb. And China's doing its own thing with EUV. But what they don't know is, you know, China's not been doing it in secret. They've been doing it. They've been doing this for years, guys. They started this since Trump started his trade war. And it's not just this Manhattan Project. China's been completely doing everything it can to build a supply chain and for it to build an EUV machine, but also have lasting talent and the technology and the supply chain to keep it going. So from the beginning, China has been putting a lot of effort into universities to teach the next generation chips and chip design and chip machinery. We'll be getting all the best skills from all over the world to also kind of teach them these things as well. China's been also building up its supply chain, building all these manufacturing uh, EUV machine parts from scratch. They've been building their own lasers, they've been building their own mirrors. So it's not something as China's been doing overnight. China's been doing this for over 10 years, ever since Trump's first term. And it's only now China's starting to bear those fruits, and you can see chips are getting better, the machinery is getting better. And I think within the next year or two, you will have the EUV machines coming out. And these EUV machines are going to be probably a tenth cheaper than ASML machines. Currently, the ASML machines, these machines cost hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes even a billion with the latest machine that's coming out. And I think China can build these for a tenth of the cost. And it's going to be a tenth of the cost in terms of maintenance as well, licensing, and also all sorts of stuff. And China is going to be the first country in the world to be able to supply an EUV machine in-house with local parts. ASML uses over 100,000 parts they order from all over across the world. You know, ASML is a Dutch company, and the Dutch company, they do not make these parts in Holland. They have to import it from America, from China, from Russia, from Ukraine even. From Ukraine, they used to buy the neon gas and xenon gas as well. So they buy parts and machinery, raw materials from all of the world. This is why these machines are so expensive. China is going to be the first country in the world to build it all in house. They don't need outside parts or anything like that. And this is why it's going to be over a tenth cheaper. Once they come out, it's game over. Game over for companies like TSMC, who have spent hundreds of billions on these expensive ASML machines that are just going to go bust overnight because if you've got these machines that cost 10 times more expensive and China's releasing them for one tenth of the cost, you're going to have a big um, kind of competition in China with so many fab and chip companies building these chips really fast, automated. And TSMC is going to go out of business because they won't be able to compete because they bought such expensive machines, their cost of the chips are quite expensive because they have to, make the cost back. So if China can build these machines 1/10 of the cost, they can sell these chips that for one tenth of the price because they don't have to buy these machines that cost billions, for example. So companies like TSMC, Intel, all these other major fab companies just going to go out of business once China releases these EV machines. And the best thing about it is, these EV machines have been banned from selling to the global south. The Americans have not been allowing the Dutch company to sell ASML machines to global south countries, and especially countries that have got sanctions like Russia, like Iran, for example. So when China makes these machines, they can sell it to anyone. They can sell it to Russia, they can sell it to Iran, they can sell it to Venezuela. China doesn't care, and these countries will develop their own industries because they have the chips. And these sanctions are going to be completely useless. The American sanctions against Iran and all these other countries are going to be completely useless. These countries will now have all the latest chip making machines. And if you have the latest chip making machines, you can have all the latest gadgets. You can make all the latest. You can have all the latest televisions. You can make it yourselves. You can have the latest cars with the latest chips, latest laptops, latest mobile phones with the latest chips. The sky is your oyster basically once you have it. So this is why America's been doing all it can to stop China from having its own EUV technology and EV chips. But it's all too late now. Trump's trade war in his first term obviously has failed. So all these EUV machines that China's building, all these new semiconductor technologies, all these new chip designs, Trump has actually forced China to do all of this. This is all Trump's fault. China was very happy to just carry on buying American chips back in the day. Then Trump started his first trade war, which he failed. And now he's suffering the consequences of it. He's also failed in his second trade war with China as well. And when is this guy ever going to learn? This is all Trump's fault. He has made China stronger than ever. He has made Huawei stronger than ever. He has given China a new lease of life. He's given the Chinese people super confidence that whatever America throws at them, they will achieve beyond their dreams, their wildest dreams. And there's nothing America can do against China. And this is all Trump's fault, basically, end of the day. And this is what happens when you put an incompetent leader who cannot think further than his own nose. And and that's it, guys. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care for now.